Bye. Close the front door with a little lock for me. Okay, so today's lectures, we are going to do a various technique for color slip. And as you know, at the Ventura College color slip, we are using during the greenware stage, which means all the color slip are made from clay and colorants, okay? And so these colorants will sustain about cone 10 firing. We do have textiles on the side that you can check it out. But these are some of the technique that I would like to introduce, which has a Sgraffito, which is a carving technique, somewhat like this right here, okay? Carving, to show you how to do a carving. Or we can do a Sgraffito with the color on the background, and then you carve on top of it. And also you can do a inlay, which is carve it, and also put one more colorants in there. So they will look pretty much like this. That is a color inlay, okay? And then we also gonna show, there's others technique that you can actually see a little bit. So here's some of example that I'm gonna show you again. Sgraffito and carving or inlay. And then I'm also gonna introduce some of the technique using Sgraffito inlay using wax. So here's the lecture. First, when you come to the studios and you look for, if you find the color slip, usually color slip, if you set it for a while, they actually didn't, they were separating, the water will flow to the top and then clay will come down to the bottom with the color slip. So always stir them, okay? So make sure then stir well. Don't just start using it, because then you won't get a nice consistency of it. So make sure you use a spatula right here. I'm gonna do the stirring right here. This is orange slip, and this is called blue-green, I think, blue-green, okay? So just make sure that you stir them well, yeah. And then while you can also take a little small container and put it into those salsa container. You can take these, scoop out some of these and into your to your space and to work on it. Okay, so here you go. We're gonna start with this first one. I'm gonna take this out. Okay, this is orange. So what I will have is, I'm gonna gently, okay, before I start to, I'm gonna do half. Okay, so normally I would like to get my space, get my surfaces a little cleaner by compressions. That says if your surface is already nice and smooth, that'd be great. Yeah, okay. So now I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna cover half of the space. Now you can see some of them actually sees the clay body. If that's happened to you, make sure that you brush a few more times, okay? Now, because this color slip is made from ball clay, actually made from ball clay, so any stroke that you see or any lump that you see right here, if you don't smooth them out, they actually gonna stay like that, yeah? Which is kind of interesting. For you to do it is will be interesting using something called slip trailing, okay? So for example, if I have the slip, already put it in here, and I can do the slip trailing later on. So these will be a slip, and I'm gonna do like this. So you can write. And again, these slip trailing right here is not going to goes away, okay? Now, so here's called the slip trailing, and now we're gonna go into Sgraffito, which is carving, okay? For our studio, we have something like this, okay? If you notice that tip is pretty wide open, okay? I like to use this trimming my cup and my bowl, but when I do the carving, it's a little too wide. Can you see it right here? Right here. It's a little too wide right here. So I usually take a little hammer or a little brick, and I kind of hammer down a little bit, and they will become like this. Let me see. Can you see it? Right here, a little tinier. Okay. So I'm gonna take this. So this is called sgraffito or carving. So that says I'm gonna carve right that. Okay. Now, carving has a different. When is the best time to carve? Best time to carve actually is a leather hard stage. Okay. So how can you tell it's a leather hard? Leather hard. Leather hard is when you carve, your clay is like a nice string cheese look. This one all crunched up, I would say, because I just rolled it up this morning. It's a very fresh clay. Therefore, it's a little wet. So I would say wait a little bit. And then we did talk about what is a leather hard. We have a leather hard. Thinking about block of cheese, okay? If you have a Parmesan cheese, block Parmesan cheese is really hard, and that is a 3 stages of the plastic clay. For example, you have plastic clay, freshly get from the clay bag, and then when you finish making, your clay will be a bone dry clay, which is all the physical water kind of goes away, and anything in between is leather hard. And then when is a good time to carve? And it's about the leather hard, but leather hard has such a wide range. And I go back to, I say, you have a wide range of a clay that when you squeeze it and feels like a Parmesan cheese, that kind of hardness, versus you squeeze it and feels like a brie cheese, okay, very soft. You also have in the middle, maybe like cheddar, a hard cheddar cheese is right in the middle. It's a little softer than Parmesan. So I would say right about Parmesans and block cheese right there. I know I'm not teaching food, but right that feeling, it's a good time to carve, okay? And then now I'm going to get a little, let me see, I'm running. Now I'm coming back with this because I want to bring it closer to you to see it, so I look in a little black. So it's like that right here. Can you see the sgraffito? Okay. So when I carve, so this is called carving. Yeah. But you can see when I do the carving, what good thing about carving is when you do the carving later on, when you do glaze, actually can lay over that your glaze will break from the high point to the divot area, and so it will be pretty cool. And then, but if you have a color slip, which is right here, and can you see the clay, the color slip is a little shiny, yes, okay, so I would say maybe this is not a good time to carve, okay. You need to make sure that your clay is a little dry, at least the shininess of your clay should go away, okay? But I'm gonna carve it anyway. So I'm gonna take this out. Any bird, okay, any little things that you saw, if you let them wait just a little longer, I think the outcome will be much better, okay? Much better. But here you go. So here is sgraffito with the background of the orange. Okay, so that's similar to this right in here. These are some of the example that I did. So now this color slip, notice, is no shininess, so that means it's already dry already. And then watch when I carve the different, you can see the clay actually has more string cheese look like versus all clumped up. So again, this is a good time to carve. Right now is the letter heart towards, I would say, block cheese, you know, like a cheddar, or maybe towards the Parmesan look, okay? So that's a sgraffito. Now you can have a different background of sgraffito right here. So ideally it's contrast with the color slip. So therefore, if you have a white background and you use the darker color slip, you're gonna pop out a lot, just like this one right here, okay? So right in here. But this is the, wait, this is the inlay. Sorry about that. Wrong one. It's gonna be something like this. Yeah, color contrast. Okay. Now, one more thing so that I was gonna say is, now this is called sgraffito. So you can paint, you can actually do a lot of carving on the surface. Okay, again, you can see this clay is too wet, but so here's a sgraffito again. Okay, now, and then you can use the variations of the carving tool. You can have a fine one. This is the actually homemade from Korea artists that gifted it to me, or you can have all kinds of commercial carving tool out there that is available. Okay, so first we have a carving, it's called sgraffito, with a color slip on the background. So here you go, right here. The carving with the carving like this, right here. Okay, now this carving right here, I'm going to continue to finish. So this is called carving or sgraffito, okay? So right there. Now what I will do is I'm gonna take, if I want to put, if you can see right here, you see the orange line I kind of go through, or the orange line right here, okay? Now I would like to not have an orange background, but I want that my drawing has the orange color slip. Now that will be calling inlay. So what we'll do is I will put the colors in there. I'm not brushing it, basically I'm feeding the glaze, not the glaze, this color slip to the crevices. Okay, like this. I'm gonna do that a little bit more. So I really want to fill them up. You know, I really want to fill up the crevices right in there as much as I can. So it could be waiting, you know, make sure the kind of slip kind of dry off a little bit. Could take a little while. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna wait until they dry. Okay, I'm gonna wait until they dry and then I'm gonna scrape away. Okay, so I'm gonna take this on the side. Now I'm gonna have this right here. I have a little demo right here. You can see. Okay, I do the little carving I did earlier. So what I would do is I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna slightly scrape away. So my color slowly showing. So you can see now the line actually go inside. Perhaps I can do one more right here. I didn't scrape them all yet, so I'm gonna scrape them a little bit more. And then probably better if you wait your clay till a little more bone dry, okay? Wait a little bit so that your line will get nice and crisp. And that's how this inlay goes about. So again, white background, carve it, then I put a slip inside the crevices, wait till them to dry, then I carve away. So this will be a inlay. So now we have a carving sgraffito. We also have the inlay. This is carving with the inlay right in here. That's the 3 techniques right now. Okay. Now we also, and then of course we have a slip traveling too as well. Okay. Now we also have something we call, what happened is right here. Can you see that? This one, I know it's a little shiny right here. This one is you have a background colors, but you also have a color. You carve it with a sgraffito, but inside of a sgraffito actually have a color. So if you using this method, you basically carve away the background surface, right? So I'm gonna teach you how to not carve away, but still have the line inside of your clay. So what we do right here is after right here, okay, this one's gonna be waiting. So after I put a color slip on there, okay, and then when the color slip is dry, and I'm gonna take something called wax, okay. So this wax gonna go on top of my first colors, and make sure that your color slip is dry. If not, you're gonna pick up some colors, okay. Make sure they are dry. Once you put that in, because the color slip, the wax is a water-based wax, okay. So when I dry on top, if I put the second color, which is also made from water, it's gonna protect the first layer of the colors. So again, I'm gonna try to do this again. So first, again, let's do a review, okay? We're gonna put, if I'm gonna do an inlay inside, I'm gonna do the inlay on top of the first colors. So that means I have 2 colors go in between my artwork right here. Can you see right here? Okay. So how do you do that? First, you apply your first color. Then you wait for your first color dry. Then you apply wax. Yes? Once the wax is dry, then we can go ahead and color it. I mean, we can do a carving, which is all sgraffito. So I already got one prepared on the side. So I'm gonna take this out right here and show you, okay? So you can see right now, this color slip are not too shiny, but this wax is still a little wet. Can you see? It's still a little wet. So I would say you probably should let the wax dry almost like transparent, and then it's not tacky. When they are dry, then you go ahead and carve it, okay? But since I already did it earlier, but it's still a little dry, but I'm gonna carve it anyway. So I'm gonna do this, okay? Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna do a little square. So I'm gonna carve into the area. So you can see, like, this is a string cheese that I'm talking about right here, okay? I'm gonna do this carving. Okay. Maybe I would do a little, I don't know, divot. Okay. So this is what I show you right now. Right here, this section has a wax. This section doesn't have a wax. So it's, for me, it's impossible to put the slip, the second color inside the groove unless I really carefully to do it. I'm gonna disturb the first color. So to prevent the area that gets away, what I did is I applied the first color, then applied the wax, and I let the wax dry, then I carve away. So when I carve away my wax and my first layer of a color. So you can see my color is exposed. So far so good. Make sure all the clay need to be dry before you handling this, okay? Okay, now I'm gonna take the second colors in here. I'm gonna add it in. I'm gonna really shove it in, okay? I need to make sure that, like, if I want to have a flat, so that means my first color of clay and my second color of clay are the same level, there's no divot, you need to make sure that you piling up your slip a lot, okay? So I really pushing them in. Once I push it in, I'm gonna take my sponge, I'm gonna lightly going to lightly wipe it off. Since my wax is dry, so basically I'm just wiping it off whatever's above the line. You can let them dry a little bit more if you like, or you can just take them like this. And you have to take your time. Notice I'm barely touching it. Because if you don't, you're gonna possibly wipe off the wax, because wax just hanging on the first layer of the color. So if you are wiping it like you do in the dishes, it's probably gonna come off. So you can see, now I'm doing that. And I'm constantly rinsing it. You see right here now? Because I'm just kind of picking up on the side surface right there, yeah? I mean, on the surface that doesn't have, has the wax. So here you go. I mean, slowly you can see I'm picking up the colors, but again, I'm not disturbing the, I'm not wiping too hard, because if I'm wiping too hard, then I'm gonna wipe away the wax, okay? And then the key is make sure that your wax is dry. Here you go. I know it's a little long process, but you can see it right now. Okay. Right here. And again, I'm very gently, patience, okay? Patience. Here you go. Right. So again, this side, we'll be using a wax resist with a double color right here. Okay, see that? Okay, so that again, that is an inlay. That is the inlay, but inlay on top of a first color. So you have a two color combinations. Mostly inlay just like this right here, the inlay with the plain background. But this inlay actually can have a multiple color on there, okay? This says if you want to carve it again, with the third colors, what you do is you wait for this to dry, you wax it again, and you carve on top of it. That will work too as well. Yeah? So now let's get the review of the wax. Oh, I already actually did that. Okay. So now let's get the review. First, we have a Sgraffito, which is something like this. Okay. So you are actually carving on the surface. That is a Sgraffito on top or on top of one color. And then you can do the slip trailing, which is using some of these technique that you can put on your surface. Okay. Now we also can do something called the inlay, which is right here. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually show the inlay. Here you go. We'll do this one right here. Because this clay is still not dry yet, but I actually did. So let me see if I can wipe it just for fun. Oh, actually I can wipe it too. I can wipe off the color, so you can actually wait until bone dry and carve away, or you can lightly wipe it. See right here, I still get a little color. But I will probably suggest using carving and make sure they are dry, and then you carve like this, because this one gets smeared a little bit, okay? So I would say the best way to do it, probably wait for your clay to dry. For the inlay, wait for your clay to dry and do the carving like this, okay? Now, then we got slip trailing, we got inlay, we got Sgraffito, and then we also have a Sgraffito using a second color to combine it together. Inlay, and then two color inlay. Questions?